So, love and hate. Satanism represents kindness to those who deserve it, instead of love wasted on ingrates. You cannot love everyone. It is ridiculous to think you can. If you love everyone and everything, you lose your natural powers of selection and wind up being a pretty poor judge of character and quality. If anything is used to freely is used too freely, I apologize, I read that wrong. If anything is used too freely, it loses its true meaning. Now that's interesting. I agree with that. I mean, that's why I'm a Satanist in the first place. I agree with a lot of this stuff. But anyway, it loses its meaning. Therefore, the Satanist believes you should love strongly and completely those who deserve your love, but never turn the other cheek to your enemy. Love is one of the most intense emotions felt by man. Another is hate. Forcing yourself to feel indiscriminate love is very unnatural. You think? If you try to love everyone, you only lessen your feelings for those who deserve your love. Repressed hatred can lead to many physical and emotional ailments. By learning to release your hatred, by learning to release your hatred, of course, release, you have to unleash the beast once in a while. Hold on, I lost my place. It says, repressed hatred can lead to many physical and emotional ailments. I agree. By learning to release your hatred towards those who deserve it, you cleanse yourself of these malignant emotions, and need not take your pent up. See, you can't have pent up hatred. You have to release at some point. You know, your pent up hatred out on your loved ones. See, so do you see that? So I'm going to pause for a second. So it's really saying that, if you're trying to run around here trying to love everyone and not sometimes give people the due abuse that they may deserve, then you're probably going to end up internalizing, not necessarily internalizing, but yeah, in reality you would. You internalize some of that hatred and you would end up taking it out on the people who don't deserve it because you're trying to not hate at all. If that makes any sense to you, maybe not. It should. So, yeah, I agree with that a lot. Uh, and that's kind of why I'm reading this. This is really what this is about, love and hate. But this is the satanic point of view. I'm reading this because some people may wonder, like, oh, if you're a Satanist, you're satanic. What do you believe, or what is you what does your satanic Bible say? Well, this is what it says. There has never been a great love movement in the history of the world that hasn't wound up killing countless numbers of people. We must assume to prove how much they love them. We must assume to prove how much they love them. Every hypocrite who ever walked the earth has had pockets bulging with love. We're not even going to go there. I'm not going to go there. This rant is kid friendly, so I'm not going there. Every I don't know if I could even read this word. Every parapsychical religionist claims to love his enemies, even though when wronged, he consoles himself by thinking God will punish them, instead of admitting to themselves that they are capable of hating their foes and treating them in the manner they deserve. They say, there, but for the grace of God go I. Christians actually do say that. They really, some of them actually really say that. Ask me how I know. And pray for them. Why should we humiliate and lower ourselves by drawing such inaccurate comparisons? Satanism has been thought of as being synonymous with cruelty and brutality. With cruelty and brutality. Well, yeah, cruelty and brutality. I don't know if I exactly believe that. That's a half truth. This is so only because people are afraid to face the truth. And the truth is that human beings are not all benign or all loving. That's incredibly true. Half of the time, it's actually worse than that. People are usually uh, crooked and predatory, honestly. This is so only because people are afraid to face the truth. And the truth is that human beings are not all benign or all loving. Just because the Satanist admits he is capable of both love and hate, he is considered hateful. On the contrary, because he is able to give vent to his hatred through ritualized expression, he is far more capable of love, the deepest kind of love. I agree with that. By honestly recognizing and admitting both the hate and the love he feels, there is no confusion. There's no confusing one emotion with the other. See, now I'm going to pause there, actually. I want to read that again and pause. So it says, by honestly recognizing and admitting to both the hate and the love he feels, there is no confusing the emotion with one with the other. One with one another. So what's interesting about that, and what I really, really agree with that, is this is very true. Okay, and part of this is, which some people won't like this, but this is the truth. See, if you're confused about things, like if you can't differentiate your own emotions and feelings, that's a serious problem and issue. That is that's actually pretty detrimental to a person's psyche. That's like a person, even like being in a relationship with someone, or having a friendship with someone, or having any interaction with someone, and you have made a serious mistake because you can't see how wrong your choice has been. You don't understand how manipulated you are, being manipulated, and you are confused on even what you're actually feeling. That's incredibly dangerous. That is incredibly dangerous. Okay. That's why I am a Satanist. I mean, that's not only why, but that's one of the reasons why. Because I'm not saying I'm a perfect person, but I'm saying I'm able to see through delusions and deceptions of that type of nature, if that makes sense. So, I'm going to keep going on, but I thought I had to expound on that because that's very powerful. That's a very important concept. Like, you have to understand what even your own emotions are. You have to understand if they are valid or if they're even worth you even having them. So, there you go. Without being able to experience one of these emotions, you cannot fully experience the other. I agree with that. You really can't. If you don't know, it's kind of like saying, if you don't know what bad is, how do you know what good is? If you don't know what any good is, how would you know what bad is? You know, that's not hard to understand. I mean, if it made no sense to you, you could rewind you could rewind this as many times as you need to. So I'm not gonna read the next page because that's not really appropriate for children necessarily. But that love and hate part is what I wanted to read today. Okay, and that is very valid. The reason why this is so valid is because at our core as human beings, we're driven in many ways by our emotions, whether we realize it or not. So this has to do with pretty much everything you do day to day. This is down to even you tying your shoes, brushing your teeth, and getting up in the morning. You know, if you think of it this way, if you didn't have any emotions and you were, what's the word, indifferent or didn't care about anything and had no emotion, um, well then you probably wouldn't care about anything. You wouldn't care whether you ate, whether you slept, whether you lived, whether you died. You wouldn't care about your parents. You wouldn't care about your family. You wouldn't care about your dog. You wouldn't care about anything. You know, you'd be indifferent. So maybe it would be disingenuous, I feel like, to say that we are not driven by our emotions because we clearly are. Not that that's all we are, but for a huge percentage of us, that is what we are. Whether you're male, female, or whatever you are. Um, so I just thought that was something I should speak on. Um, this is a satanic channel. I'm your host, Steve from the back, and this rant, I believe, will be in the kid-friendly gaming section because it's not so inappropriate that it can't. So I'm putting it in there. Um, you know, like, comment, and sub, share, hit the bell icon, and have a nice day.